here at Nickel City Wrestling's Winter Wonder Slam, and you never know who you're going to run into at events like this. Former WCW star Glacier, but kind enough to spend a couple moments with us. It's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I tell you what, I've had a blast here. I've been here, got here earlier today. We did a great show that's still going on tonight, and I'm going to be here tomorrow for the afternoon show, and then I'm heading back to sunny Orlando after that. But I've had a blast so far. It's really been fun.
Man, 32 years in the business.
Yeah.
What keeps you coming back?
You know what? I did a seminar today, and I told them, I said, you got to figure out if you're going to have any success in this business, you got to figure out why you're doing this. You got to know exactly why you're doing this, and my why has changed over the years, but right now my why is because I've been so fortunate to learn from some of the greatest wrestlers in the history of this business, like the legendary Luthez, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, guys of that caliber, and I learned so much from them. I just feel a moral obligation to pass that along to the next generation, and I love this business. I love it. It's been great to me, and hopefully I'll be able to do it and be a part of it until I take my last breath, which hopefully will not be anytime soon. So.
Now, from what I understand, you do run a wrestling school down in Atlanta.
Right.
When you get a new crop of wrestlers in, what qualities do you look for?
That is a great question. It's what we tell them is what we look for in them is what we know the scouts at the higher level look for. We're very fortunate to be one of only four schools in the world that's an official wrestling school affiliate of Ring of Honor. So that's huge for us. So we know what Ring of Honor looks for. We know what WWE looks for. We know what New Japan looks for, and some of the other Japanese promotions. The things that we look for. Michael Marshall, who's my partner, my business partner, who came from Ring of Honor, who came from the Monster Factory down up in New Jersey, and came from Team 3D Academy in Florida. With things we look for these are things I tell them that if you don't have these things, then it's going to be hard to make it anywhere, but especially in my business, which is a great work ethic. You got to have a great work ethic. You got to be willing to put the work in. You got to have a great attitude, because you can have the best work ethic in the world, but if you're a jerk to be around, nobody's going to want to work with you. And then the third thing is you got to have accountability. If you say you're going to do something, if you say you're going to be here to train, we expect you to be there to train, because that's how it's going to be in the real world when you get out there and you're traveling 250 days a year. You got to be accountable. So there's a lot we look for, but those are the three main things that we personally look for.
Now, growing up as a kid, if you had to nail like the one guy that made you a fan of pro wrestling, that wanted you to become a pro wrestler, who was that?
Absolutely, hands down, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. I grew up in Georgia, and we got to watch Georgia Championship Wrestling in Florida, Championship Wrestling from Florida, so I got to see him there, and the Briscoe brothers, the Grahams, all those, but Dusty was that one person that captured my imagination, just like he did so many other wrestling fans, and I was so fortunate in the year 2000, I knew him in WCW, but he asked me to come on board when he started Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling in Atlanta and be his right-hand guy, and so for 4 years I was his right-hand guy, and I became so much more than what I'd ever imagined as far as a friendship with someone like that, an icon of the business. And then when he left, he got the opportunity in 2004 to go to TNA to be the head of booking there, and he brought me on as an agent there for a while. So and then a lot of people can say that Dusty Rhodes mentored them or trained them, but I was telling Justin, your ring announcer today, I can say one thing that nobody else can say, and that is Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, was a groomsman at my wedding when I got married, and that was pretty darn cool.
I was going to say, wow, man, you're such an icon in the business.
Yeah.
I mean, working side by side. The learning really never stops, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I was just telling the guys today at the seminar, one of the main reasons I do a seminar is that because I keep learning, and I learned a term that the younger generation uses terms that I'm having to go find out what these things mean, So it keeps me sharp, So, but Diamond Dallas Page is one of my dearest friends, in or out of wrestling, and Dallas is, he always says, the best way to learn is by teaching, and so that's what I do. I share what I know, and in return, I learn things not just about the business, but about young people and the new generation, the younger generation. So it just keeps me in the mix, so to speak.
Man, I'll tell you what, man. Thank you for all the memories you've given us.
Oh yeah.
And hey, it was more than a pleasure.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.